Hi, how you doing? Good, I hope. I've been reading a book. Of course, I read my Bible every morning, and Enoch was mentioned in the Bible. He didn't die. He was taken from this earth by God. And apparently he was one of the few humans I've ever heard of, or the only one, that became an angel called Metatron, for one name for him, which I have been calling him myself quite many times. I think this book has been hidden. A lot of the books of the Bible of biblical nature that they refuse to put in with the Bible. It seems the Bible has been changed and things hidden from it that they either didn't understand or didn't want other people to understand, which most occult masters will hide anything from people that is not their immediate companion that they trust enough to teach them their occult things. So since we have a wicked and have had wicked here all the time, this is really a mind-boggling and knowledge-giving kind of book, I think. And to keep an open mind and study all the things too. This is a book of Enoch, the prophet, translated by Richard Laurence. And I thought I'd read you a little bit about the fallen angels, because experiencing ETs and UFOs, it makes me also read the Bible to see what it has in it. People frequently mention religion among the UFO videos and things on YouTube, and I think that's right. We have to consider what this means from God, and perhaps they could be angels that have been here all the time. There's good angels and bad ones. The fallen ones were the ones that were watchers. They were supposed to be praying for us, but they were using Enoch to pray for them when they did their sins here. And I want to read you a little bit. Chapter VII, section II. It happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days that daughters were born to them elegant and beautiful. And when the angels, the sons of heaven, beheld them, they became enamored of them, saying to each other, "Come, let us select for ourselves wives from the prodigy of men, and let us beget children." Then their leader Samyaza said to them, "I fear that you may perhaps be indisposed to the performance of this enterprise, and that I alone shall suffer for so grievous a crime." But they answered him and said, "We all swear and bind ourselves by mutual execrations that we will not change our intention, but execute our projected undertaking." Then they swore all together, and all bound themselves by mutual execrations. Their whole number was 200, who descended upon Ardis, which is the top of Mount Armon. And I have the dictionary's definition of execration in my example. That mountain, therefore, was called Armon, because they had sworn upon it and bound themselves by mutual execrations. These are the names of their chiefs: Samyaza, who was their leader; Urakabaramil, Achabil, Tamuel, Ramuel, Danel, Axiel, Sarakino, Aziel, Armers, Batral, Anan, Zavbi, Samsaviel, Irtael, Turel, Yomiel, Azariel. These were the perfects of the 200 angels, and the remainder were all with them. Then they took wives, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabited, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and the dividing of roots and trees. And the women, conceiving, brought forth giants, whose stature was each 300 cubits. These devoured all which the labor of men produced, until it became impossible to feed them. When they turned themselves against man in order to devour them, and began to injure birds, beasts, reptiles, and fishes, to eat their flesh one after another, and to drink their blood, then the earth reproved the unrighteous. This is still happening, isn't it? Chapter VIII. Moreover, Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, shields, breastplates, the fabrication of mirrors, and the workmanship of bracelets and ornaments, the use of paint, the beautifying of the eyebrows, the use of stones of every valuable and select kind, and all sorts of dyes, so that the world became altered. Impiety increased. Fornication multiplied, and they transgressed and corrupted all their ways. And Mazarach taught all the sorcerers and dividers of roots. That's witchcraft, isn't it? Divider of roots. And they cook in a pot. Armers taught the solution of sorcery. Barkael taught the observers of the stars. Akibil taught signs. Tamuel taught astronomy. And Azradel taught the motion of the moon. And men, being destroyed, cried out, and their voices reached to heaven. Could that be why the man excommunicated from the Catholic Church about the moon was accused of? They must have read this even back then, I suspect. Chapter IX. Then Michael and Gabriel, Raphael, Suriel, and Uriel looked down from heaven and saw the quantity of blood which was shed on earth, and all the iniquity which was done upon it, and said one to another, It is the voice of their cries. The earth deprived of her children has cried, even to the gate of heaven. And now to you, O ye holy ones of heaven, the souls of men complain, saying, Obtain justice for us with the Most High. Then they said to their Lord the King, Thou art Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings. The throne of thy glory is forever and ever, and forever and ever is thy name sanctified and glorified. Thou art blessed and glorified. Thou hast made all things, thou possessest power over all things, and all things are open and manifest before thee. Thou beholdest all things, and nothing can be sealed from thee. Thou hast seen what Azazel has done, how he has taught every species of iniquity upon earth, and has disclosed to the world all the secret things which are done in the heavens. Samyaza also has taught sorcery, to whom thou hast given authority over those who are associated with him, They have gone together to the daughters of men, have lain with them, have become polluted, and have discovered crimes to them. The women likewise have brought forth giants. Thus has the whole earth been filled with blood and with iniquity. And now behold, the souls of those who are dead cry out. Now I want to know, my question is, how did these women give birth to giants? If these fallen angels were giants, how did they have sex with them? Or did they take them up and insert their sperm into their bodies with a needle, like doctors can do now? They were way ahead of us, like any ET would be. And complain even to the gate of heaven. Their groaning ascends, nor can they escape from the unrighteousness which is committed on earth. Thou knowest all things before they exist. Thou knowest these things, and what has been done by them, yet thou dost not speak to us. What on account of these things ought we to do to them? Then the Most High, the great and holy one, spoke, and sent Ares Yalalur to the son of Lamech, saying, Say to him in my name, conceal thyself. Then explain to him the consummation which is about to take place. For all the earth shall perish. The waters of a deluge has come over the whole earth, and all things which are in it shall be destroyed. And now teach him how he may escape, and how his seed may remain in all the earth. Is that why things still are the way those fallen angels have taught people to worship idols and to do the sorcery and witchcraft and things like that? Again the Lord said to Raphael, Bind Azaliel, hand and foot, cast him into darkness, and opening the desert which is in Dudael, cast him in there. Throw upon him hurled and pointed stones, covering him with darkness. There shall he remain forever. Cover his face, that he might not see light. In the great day of judgment let him be cast into the fire. Restore the earth which the angels have corrupted, and announce life to it, that I may revive it. All the sons of men shall not perish in consequence of every secret by which the watchers have destroyed, and which they have taught their offspring. All the earth has been corrupted by the effects of the teaching of Azazel. To him therefore ascribe the whole crime. To Gabriel also the Lord said, Go unto the biters, to the reprobates, to the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication, the offspring of the watchers from among men. Bring them forth and excite them one against another. Let them perish by mutual slaughter, for the length of days shall not be theirs. Is that why there are some things happening in our world today? They shall all entreat thee, but their fathers shall not obtain their wishes respecting them. For they shall hope for eternal life, and that they may live, each of them 500 years. To Michael likewise the Lord said, Go and announce his crime to Samyazi, and to the others who are with him, who have been associated with women, that they might be polluted with all their impurity. And when all their sons shall be slain, when they shall see the perdition of their beloved, bind them for 70 generations underneath the earth, even unto the day of judgment and of consummation, until the judgment, the effect of which will last forever, be completed. Then shall they be taken away into the lowest depths of the fire and torments, and in confinement shall they be shut up forever. Immediately after this shall he, together with them, burn and perish. They shall be bound until the consummation of many generations. Destroy all the souls addicted to dalliance and the offspring of the watchers, for they have tyrannized over mankind. Let every oppressor perish from the face of the earth. Let every evil work be destroyed. The plan of righteousness and of rectitude appear, and its produce become a blessing. Righteousness and rectitude shall be forever planted with delight, And then shall all the saints give thanks and live until they have begotten 1,000 children. Well, the whole period of their youth and their Sabbath shall be completed in peace. In those days all the earth shall be cultivated in righteousness, and shall be wholly planted with trees and filled with benediction. Every tree of delight shall be planted in it. In it shall vines be planted, and the vine which shall be planted in it shall yield fruit to satiety. Every seed which shall be sown in it shall produce for 1 measure 1,000, and 1 measure of olive shall produce 10 presses of oil. Purify the earth from all oppression, from all injustice, from all crime, from all impiety, and from all the pollution which is committed upon it. Exterminate them from the earth. Then shall all the children of men be righteous, and all nations shall pay me divine honors and bless me, and all shall adore me. The earth shall be cleansed from all corruption, from every crime, from all punishment, and from all suffering. Neither will I again send a deluge upon it from generation to generation forever. In those days I will open the treasures of blessings which are in heaven, that I may cause them to descend upon earth and upon all the works and labor of man. Peace and equity shall associate with the sons of men all the days of the world, in every generation of it. Chapter X11. Before all these things Enoch was concealed, nor did any one of the sons of men know where he was concealed, where he had been, and what had happened. He was wholly engaged with the holy ones and with the watchers in his days. I, Enoch, with blessing, the great Lord and King of peace. And behold, the watchers called me Enoch the scribe. Then the Lord said to me, Enoch, scribe of righteousness, go tell the watchers of heaven, who have deserted the lofty sky and their holy everlasting station, who have been polluted with women, and have done as the sons of men do, by taking to themselves wives, and who have been greatly corrupted on the earth, that on the earth they shall never obtain peace and remission of sin, where they shall not rejoice in their offspring. They shall behold the slaughter of their beloved, shall lament for the destruction of their sons, and shall petition forever, but shall not obtain mercy and peace. Chapter X11. 1. Then Enoch passing on said to Azazel, Thou shalt not obtain peace. A great sentence is gone forth against thee. He shall bind thee. Neither shall relief, mercy, and supplication be thine on account of the oppression which thou hast taught, and on account of every act of blasphemy, tyranny, and sin, which thou hast discovered to the children of men. Then departing from him, I spoke to them all together, and they all became terrified and trembled, beseeching me to write for them a memorial of supplication, that they may obtain forgiveness, and that I might make the memorial of their prayer ascend up before the God of heaven, because they could not themselves thenceforwards address him, nor raise up their eyes to heaven on account of the disgraceful offense for which they were judged. Then I wrote a memorial of their prayer and supplication for their spirits, for everything which they had done, and for the subject of their entreaty, that they might obtain remission and rest. Proceeding on, I continued over the waters of Dan-Badan, which is on the right to the west of Armon, reading the memorial of their prayer, until I fell asleep. And behold, a dream came to me, and visions appeared above me. I fell down and saw a vision of punishment, that I might relate it to the sons of heaven, and reprove them. When I awoke, I went to them. All beings, being collected together, stood weeping in Obel-Ciel, which is situated between Lebanos and Sinezer, with their faces veiled. I related in their presence all the visions which I had seen in my dream, and began to utter these words of righteousness, reproving the watchers of heaven. Chapter X1b. This is the book of the words of righteousness, and of the reproof of the watchers who belong to the world, according to that which he who is holy and great commanded in the vision. I perceived in my dream that I was now speaking with a tongue of flesh, and with my breath which the Mighty One has put into the mouth of men, that they might converse with it, and understand with the heart, as he has created and given to men the power of comprehending the word of understanding, so has he created and given to me the power of reproving the watchers, the offspring of heaven. I have written your petition, and in my vision it has shown me that what your request that will not be granted to you as long as the world endures. Judgment has been passed upon you. Your request will not be granted you. From this time forward, never shall you ascend into heaven. He has said that on earth he will bind you as long as the world endures. But before these things you shall behold the destruction of your beloved sons. You shall not possess them, but they shall fall before you by the sword. Neither shall you entreat for them, nor for yourselves, but you shall weep and supplicate in silence the words of the book which I wrote. A vision thus appeared to me. Behold, in that vision clouds and a mist invited me. Agitated stars and flashes of lightning impelled and pressed me forwards, while winds in the vision assisted my flight, accelerating my progress. They elevated me aloft to heaven. I proceeded until I arrived at a wall built of stones of crystal. A vibrating flame surrounded it, which began to strike me with terror. Into this vibrating flame I entered, and drew nigh to a spacious habitation built also with stones of crystals. Its walls too, as well as pavement, were formed with stones of crystal, and crystal likewise was the ground. Its roof had the appearance of agitated stars and flashes of lightning. Among them were cherubim of fire in a stormy sky. A flame burned around its walls, and its portal blazed with fire. When I entered into this dwelling, it was hot as fire and cold as ice. No trace of delight or life was there. Terror overwhelmed me, and a fearful shaking seized me. Violently agitated and trembling, I fell upon my face. In this vision I looked, and behold, there was another habitation, more spacious than the former, every entrance to which was open before me, erected in the midst of a vibrating flame. So greatly did it excel in all points in glory and magnificence and in magnitude, that it is impossible to describe to you either the splendor or the extent of it. Its floor was on fire, above were lightnings and agitated stars, while its roof exhibited a blazing fire. Attentively I surveyed it, and saw that it contained an exalted throne, the appearance of which was like that of frost, while its circumference resembled the orb of the brilliant sun. And there was the voice of the cherubim. From underneath this mighty throne rivers of flaming fire issued. To look upon it was impossible. One great in glory sat upon it, whose robe was brighter than the sun and whiter than snow. No angel was capable of penetrating to view the face of him, the glorious and the effulgent, nor could any mortal behold him. A fire was flaming around him. A fire also of great extent continued to rise up before him, so that not one of those who surrounded him was capable of approaching him, among the myriads of myriads who were before him. To him holy consolation was needless, yet did not the sanctified who were near him depart far from him, either by night or by day, nor were they removed from him. I also was so far advanced, with a veil on my face and trembling, then the Lord with his own mouth called me, saying, Approach hither, Enoch, at my holy word. And he raised me up, making me draw near even to the entrance. My eye was directed to the ground. And I must add in my own words that this reminds me of some of the pictures of the UFOs that I took and modified and darkened the lights to see what was inside, and they looked like cities. Chapter XB. Then addressing me, he spoke and said, Hear, neither be afraid, O righteous Enoch. Thy scribe of righteousness, approach hither and hear my voice. Go say to the watchers of heaven who have sent thee to pray for them, You ought to pray for men and not men for you. Wherefore have you forsaken the lofty and holy heaven which endures forever, and have lain with women, excuse me, have defiled yourselves with the daughters of men, have taken to yourselves wives, have acted like the sons of the earth, and have begotten an impious offspring. You being spiritual, holy, and possessing a life which is eternal, have polluted yourself with women, have begotten in carnal blood, have lusted in the blood of men, and have done as those who are flesh and blood do. These, however, die and perish. Therefore have I given to them wives, that they might cohabit with them, that sons might be born of them, and this might be transacted upon earth. But you from the beginning were made spiritual, possessing a life which is eternal, and not subject to death forever. Therefore I made not wise for you, because being spiritual your dwelling is in heaven. Now the giants who have been born of spirit and of flesh shall be called upon earth evil spirits, and on earth shall be their habitation. Evil shall proceed from their flesh, because they were created from above. From the holy watchers was their beginning and primary foundation. Evil spirits shall they be upon earth, and the spirits of the wicked shall they be called. The habitation of the spirits of heaven shall be in heaven, but upon earth shall be the habitation of terrestrial spirits who are born on earth. The spirits of the giants shall be like clouds, which shall oppress, corrupt, fall, contend, and bruise upon earth. They shall call lamentation, no food shall they eat, and they shall be thirsty. They shall be concealed, and shall not rise up against the sons of men and against women, for they come forth during the days of slaughter and destruction. And this makes me wonder, because as much contact and experience I've had with ETs and UFOs, these are spiritual people, and like any angel, maybe it's them that can transform into a human looking body, like the ones who popped up all around me one day. And I'm not the only one that's seen it happen. I have a witness. So I guess she has her questions being asked of her as well. Well, I suggest you read this book if you're a believer and you've experienced any of these things, being abducted or come to face with those who will not tell you such a thing, and they come out of nowhere. It's very interesting, and it makes me pray a lot. I pray for all of you, and even for the wicked, that they might repent of their sins and be forgiven. But only if they're descendants of the fallen angels will they not get it. But God asks us to pray for the wicked as well. Y'all have a great day or night, wherever you are. See you later. Blessings.